Music sucks, man. I don't know why you wrote it. Hey, listen, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the News Now. The Hezokuai show on Halloween. You know what? Guess what I'm dressed up as? An idiot. Oh, yeah, this is great. Hey, get this damn thing off my head. Anyway, happy Halloween. Today's the day that I get to go outside and go with Hezekiah and Minnie has, which sucks, but at least I get to film everything, and I get to ask people to give me, no, I don't ask anything for anything. I get to tell people to give me candy. Trick or treat, bungholes. You don't give me a treat, I'm going to play a trick on you. That's right, I'm going to chew on your wires or pee in your sink or poop on your records. How do you like that, Highway Star? Yeah. Anyway, I guess this guy wanted to say something. Go ahead, you idiot. Oh, that was not nice, Daddy. Anyway, guys, I'm so excited. My daddy, I asked him for a Halloween costume, and he told me, he said, if I take this plastic bag and put it over my head, then I'll be a ghost. Yeah, that's right. What? Oh, that's not a good... Oh. Daddy, you were trying to trick me. Yeah, and you were dumb enough to fall for it, too. What an idiot. Anyway, I don't think that's nice for you to do that to me, Daddy. Well, so what are you going to do about it? What? Hey, guys, love you. What? What's he gonna do? I don't get the joke, man. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, wait a minute. He wrote it down. It's down here. Let me see. It says, knock, knock. Who's there? Daddy, your ass about to get tased. What?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Halloween edition of Rise and Shine with Hezekiah on the 2024 Halloween. Let's go. What do we got? Stefan St. German was first with a boo. Here's your happy dance. Ah, scared me. All right. Cliff Hickson, number 2. Let's see. Greg Jonick, number 3. Let's see. Stefan Highway Star. Yeah. Let's see. And then we got David E. Persons with the joke of the day. Did you what about Frauditor? Did you hear about the Frauditor who kept pushing buttons outside the post office to get in only to discover that he was pushing on the door lock? He won the Nobel Prize. All right. Oh, bonjour. I love it. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Stefan, Highway Star, David E. Persons, Cliff Hickson. What's up? Tiny Chihuahua Life. Yeah. That's right. Tiny's in the house. What's up? Great to see you. P. Barnes II is here. Uh-oh. He's suing me for using his face. There it is. Without his consent. It ain't my fault you picked the wrong spot. Greg Jonick, My Tiny Chihuahua Life, Cliff Hickson, King Stew 2006. Good morning to all. That's everybody. That's all. All right. B. Barnes, Greg Jonick, Tiny, Cliff Hickson. Highway Star, Robert Custos, what's up? Let's see, who else is here today? Who else is here today? Hip, 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 hooray. Who else is here today? Hey, we got Kingston 2000 with a gifted membership. All right. Here's a happy dance for you. Wait, Kingston 2000. All right. Here's a happy dance for you, Kingston. All right. Yes. Thank you. I said thank you. Jaime, all right, what's up? There's no need to fear. Hezokuai and Jaime Pimentel Bay is here. Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Pimentel Bay appearing on behalf of YouTube. Free News Now Voodoo, all right. He still wants Voodoo to zap me, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know, man. What the heck? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, that was the peanut gallery, man, and I'm the one eating the peanuts. Anyway, Jaime, don't you worry about it. I'm going to get him one of these days, just you watch. But right now, I'm too busy trying to chew his wires, but don't tell him that, so that his internet connection will die, and then he can go trick-or-treating with his kids and his, not have anything to, wait, that won't have anything to do with the internet. Well, I'll figure something out. Anyway, I'm going to prank him somehow for Halloween. All right, thanks, guys. All right, eat it.
I don't even know what he was talking about there. All right, let's see. P. Barnes, Jaime. Terry Barnes, what's up? God bless you all. God bless you, sir. Yes, yes. Cool Clearwater's in the house. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Yes, Cool Clearwater. Oh, no, wait. I need to change that. Today's Halloween, man. Hold on. Let me change my my audio avatar. It's called Bucky. No, that's not Halloween appropriate. Let's see. Godzilla. That's a good one. I got it. How about this guy from Star Trek? Yeah. Or a Ghost Bob. That's another good one for Halloween. It's a ghost. It's a Bob. Yeah, all right. I'll go with how about Vlad the Impaler or the good old fashioned Scully Wally? Yeah, whatever's clever, Trevor. I'll figure it out. Anyway, here I am live on the nose. What? Who's here? Let's see. P. Barnes. Oh, yeah, saying hello to Cool Clearwater. What's up? Always great to see you here. Absolutely, positively, Jason Gutterman sauce. What? Ew. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I haven't. Wait, let me see. I just thought, like, do I have that? Ew. You know. No, I don't. I got oh no, that's something else. Yeah, this is all good stuff. No. We got Greg Jonick with 5 gifted memberships. All right. Thank you so much. Here's your happy dance, Greg. All right. Yes, thank you so much. Let's see. What do we got? Greg Jonick. Nicode's here. What's up? You got me. Here's the boot. I love it. Carl, I'm at 312 and not in the best mood. Peanut shells? Where? Peanuts? Where? Oh, peanuts and applesauce. Sounds swell. What? Sounds like something that came out of my butt. No, ew. Voodoo. That was supposed to be him saying that. I apologize. My sinuses are messing with me again this morning. Oh, my goodness gracious me. It's Halloween. I couldn't get too crazy because I got to go to work. And, at work, it's just Thursday, But as soon as I get off work, we're going to take the kids trick-or-treating. It's going to be a blast. And then we're going to watch the original 1978 original John Carpenter movie Halloween, of course, on Halloween. And then after that, I don't know, they're going home, and then I'm going to bed, and then we'll do everything just normal tomorrow, like it's a regular night. So we got a little bit of time. Did you guys watch the Eric Martin trial? I watched the whole trial yesterday. Colin, definitely not Cromwell, actually got permission from the court to film the whole thing, so he had the exclusive. So we watched. He has the whole trial. He kind of edited out, or at least tried to edit out all the bits, like just stuff that where you would be able to see the jury's faces and things like that. You know, he had class about it. But it was insane because, like, before the trial, it was like, okay, let's hear your motions. There's a motion to dismiss on account of you guys don't have jurisdiction. Okay, denied. Next. Motion to dismiss on account of I don't like what you guys are doing. Okay, dismissed. Motion to dismiss on account of you keep dismissing my motions. Motion to dismiss, like, no. Because you keep denying my motions. No, motions denied. Griffey for 2 Australian Halloween tasing for voodoo. All right.
Man, I already took a taste of this Halloween. I thought I was done, man. Come on, don't do that again, man. Come on, Griffey, out. Tasting government. DMA. Oh, yeah. Honey, boo, boo, rock.
All right, man. Let's see. Jaime, P. Barnes, Cool Clearwater. All right, and with that, it looks like we're all caught up. All right. So anyway, though, like I was saying, so the trial, the whole thing is like 5 hours. Colin, definitely not Cromwell's video of it is like 3 hours. So I'm not going to play all that here. I'm just going to basically talk about it for a second, but just a moment, please. Oh boy, these are the times in the morning when I get those allergy attacks, and it kind of drives me nuts. So just a moment, por favor, because I don't like leaving you guys with dead air. Hold on. I got any? I don't have any Halloween music queued up. Dang, damn it! I should have thought ahead. I'm here. All right. I'm back. Jack, do it again. Wheels turn around and round. Oh, yes. So, back to the beat, y'all. Getting down with the sound so sweet, y'all. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Eric Martin trial. So, before the trial starts, he's going through all these motions. Hey, Paul Cohen, say, yo, my peeps, should. Every motion denied. He starts getting into his sovereign stuff, and the judge was great. Because the judge, like, literally told him, he's like, yeah, but I have the right to travel. And he's like, yes, you do. I mean, you can walk anywhere. You can do like Forrest Gump, walk all over the country, and nobody can tell you don't have the right to do that. Go ahead. But then the judge is like, but you can't just jump in a helicopter and just fly around, chopping people with the helicopter blades. Like, you can't just do that. That's just not a thing, you can't. That's not covered under the right to travel. Lexi Ann is here. What's up? So anyway, the judge is telling him that and blah, 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 whatever. So he goes through all these frivolous motions. They're all denied. So finally, because he demanded a jury trial after everything that happened and everything he went through, and the fact that he like has two domestic violence cases pending. He's going to demand a jury trial over what was it? A speeding ticket, no insurance, no, it was it wasn't speeding. It was he got stopped and he had no license, no registration, and no insurance. So he demands a jury trial for that. So that's what this was yesterday. So he's in there doing all this nonsense. They bring the jury in, and he's going to defend himself. And he's got standby counsel. And his standby counsel, you can see, it's like, hey, I'll do my best to defend him. But, I mean, he's telling me this stuff he wants me to say is nonsense. I can't say this because it's crap. But it's cool because, like, when Eric Martin goes out and he's testifying, hey, I have the right to travel and you guys don't have jurisdiction over me because my name is in all capital letters and I'm not a corporation. Like, you could tell everyone was just like, the hell is this idiot talking about, And then the judge explains it to him and he tells him flat out. And it was cool too. Like, and again, it's very long. There's a lot to it, so I'm not going to play it here. But after the jury leaves, then he gets to file any other motions or any last minute whatever before the jury comes back with a verdict. Of course, he was found guilty because in his own testimony, he said, yeah, I had a flat tire. So the cop came up to me and asked me for ID. I didn't have any because I don't have a driver's license. And then when he asked me for registration, I didn't give him because I don't have a registration. And then when he asked me for insurance, I didn't give it to him because I don't have insurance. It's like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, his own testimony, he said he was guilty. Like, there's no question of whether or not you're going to find him guilty when he's testifying that he did it. Lisa Alcazar, what's up? So anyway, yeah, he was found guilty. Whatever. He's got it within the next, I think, like 3 weeks. He's got 2 more cases, and those are the violence ones. So that's where it's going to get weird. But because I always follow cases like this. If you're not familiar with who this Eric Martin guy is, I've played him up here a couple times. He's a soft sit. He's been in and out of court lately a lot. But the reason why I like following him is because every single time I see people, or even like the people that I've talked to, like Broken System, Broken Trust, or John Felix, or any of these other idiots that have these sovereign citizen ideas in their head. Hey, what's up, COVID or COVID 42? What's up? Whenever these people with these sovereign citizen ideas talk, if you actually can get into like a legitimate conversation with them, they'll always say things like, well, it's different if you actually cause loss, injury, or harm. That's their big favorite quote that they love to say all the time. Until they actually do cause loss, injury, or harm. Then, and this is the problem, this is why the sovereign citizen philosophy at its core is dangerous. Because if you are convinced that the United States is a corporation that has no jurisdiction to prosecute you and that the courts are not legitimate in the first place, then it doesn't matter if they're prosecuting you for domestic violence or SA or homicide or theft. Because they have no jurisdiction to prosecute anyone in the first place. Because they aren't legitimate courts in the first place. So, when I hear that this guy's a sovereign citizen, is going to be on trial for domestic abuse, it's like, oh, here we go. Like, here's another example of it's not just me or people on our side who think these guys' arguments are stupid. It's real life examples of this. Isn't again, the trial yesterday was a parking ticket, or the day before. Not a parking ticket. Oh, Lord. A no driving without a license. But the point is, these sovereign citizens, they actually get in real trouble. They actually commit real crimes that even people on their side would say, oh, yeah, that caused loss, injury, or harm. That's a legitimate crime. Okay, so then how come they can't be prosecuted for it? Oh, well, government's not legit in the first place, so it doesn't matter. They can do what they want. So it's anarchy, right? That's what it is. That's what it comes down to when you're that dumb. When you're that stupid. When you're stupid and dumb. When you're dumb and stupid. You join the sovereign citizen movement. Yeah. I think Voodoo put something in my coffee this morning. I don't know. I didn't get any coffee this morning. I'm actually out. I gotta go buy some more. Ugh. Let's see. Yeah. It's Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else before no, I got something on deck, but I wanted to see if there's anything else that I missed that got posted just recently. I had a weird night last night. Well, it wasn't weird. It was just a normal night. But I did yesterday, because yesterday was laundry day. Right. So I was in the laundromat yesterday because that trial was so long. I was listening to the trial in the laundromat. And I was so fascinated by what was going on in the trial and listening to this idiot sovereign citizen gobbledygook. At some point, I realized that my neighbor downstairs was talking to me. I didn't even know she was in the building, let alone was standing in front of me saying something. I'm on my phone, I had my phone in my pocket. So I wasn't sitting there staring at the phone. I was just sitting there, but I was so focused on what I was hearing that I didn't even notice. And then I look up and I see this lady talking to me, and I'm like, oh, hi. She's like, wait a minute. I had my earbuds in. That were a gift from Ray Ray. All right. So then I took my earbuds out. Oh, yeah, you didn't recognize me? I'm the lady who lives downstairs. I'm like, oh, yeah, you are. So that was weird. And then, I don't know, finished up my laundry and then came back here. And, did I just freeze, or was that me? I'm telling you, Voodoo's doing something weird, man. What are you up to there, punk?
It's Halloween. I'm gonna get him, guys. Yeah, the car's going down because this is the news now. Voodoo show.
All right, I'm stalling because my computer is not cooperating with me in the background. Ding dong, ding ding. Damn it. All right, here we go. So how about we start the show with see, now there's my computer. Damn it. Hey, Nightman's wife, what's up? I seriously got to do something. I have this. Okay, so I got the CC cleaner, and it keeps telling me I need to do all this stuff. But every time I click yes, it asks me for money. It's like, well, no, I need my computer fixed, but I don't know that it's like, oh, we'll delete these 14,000 files that you never use. It's like, but what if they're there because I need them for something? I don't know what my problem with computers, I'll tell you, My problem with computers is when I do my Control-Alt-Delete and I pull up my list of stuff I need to shut down, I don't even know what the hell half the stuff in there is. Which to me means maybe it's something that Windows needs to run. And if I turn it off, it would be like me looking at an engine in a car and not knowing what any of these parts are and just randomly pulling one out because I hope it's the one that. Like, no, you don't just randomly pull something out that you don't know what it is. So I never touch it. And now it's just a pile of crap. And I click on something and it's like, every time I click on something, it takes like a full minute or two just to respond to the click. So like if I try to open another window, I click or another tab, I click the tab and then I wait like 2 minutes and then I finally get the tab open. But then what am I doing in that tab? Well, I click on something in there and that'll take like a minute and a half to load. But I think I got it set up now to where I can show a video from Unclean Hands, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that. Malware, maybe, because when I'm not here, because I don't want to blame him, but I mean, a little kid might click on something not realizing what they're clicking on is bad. And I know that when I'm not here, Minnie has his on the computer and he's 10 years old. Who knows what he's doing? He, like I said, he might not be doing anything. I don't want to blame him and say it's his fault. But at the same time, if he's on the computer and I'm not here, I don't know what he's doing. So he might be clicking on something that's not clean. Banana Rogers, what's up? So anyway, let's go ahead and watch a video from the one and only Unclean Hands, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go.
Works. It's not how interference works. I'm a cop watcher. Don't me.
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a little special feature for you. I call When Auditors Fall in Love. This is of an auditor laying in his bed, laying back, enjoying the video of another auditor, which he plays without saying a word, just giving those eyes, that look of love in his eye, wishing that he could be with his favorite auditor at this time. Unfortunately, due to legal restrictions, I don't believe he's allowed to meet with him. But anyway, this is like a Romeo and Juliet story. Let's check it out, folks. And you may not recognize this auditor because he looks like he's put about 20 pounds on his face. But yeah, here we go. Let's check it out.
It is October 21st at 2:45 p.m. I am recording on Highway 40. There's a police officer that is using a pretextual and registration stop and is asking for invalid information.
This auditor goes by the name Right to Resist. Very appropriate name. He doesn't like to listen to authority or take directives, and he's going to end up getting himself in stuffed and cuffed is what's going to happen here.
From the woman who's pulled over.
On my stop. At this point, you're interfering with it.
That's not how interference works. It's not how interference works. I'm a cop watcher. Don't me.
Oh, you heard him, officer. You better back off. You better watch what you say. He's a cop watcher, a self-appointed title, which he thinks has some kind of power over the police. Anyway, we're going to find out that it doesn't.
I'm a cop watcher. Don't with me.
You can
handle your stop. Go handle your stop. I'm just watching the stop. She doesn't have to give you any information, sir.
You can either hang out by your car.
Yes, folks, it's JC News Now. Love struck by this auditor. Yes, Right to Resist. I can sense a little love story here. I think after probation, parole, and all the prison time they're going to do, that we may end up seeing them doing audits together. You can almost count on it. But JC looks like he's put on about 50 pounds, don't he? Look how fat his face is. Anyway, let's continue.
You can either do your traffic stop or you're going to get a complaint.
Okay. And you can.
I will call Sheriff Strodlin personally.
I don't Okay.
I will call him personally.
Wonderful.
You will get a
Not
complaint.
be here
When
on
she
my
says
behalf.
that she's not giving you her phone number or her email address,
Okay, I
that's
need
it.
information for a citation.
That's it.
You want to record?
You have it.
vehicle?
You have her ID.
Stop arguing with him, officer. Just arrest him. Don't waste your time because that's all you're doing.
Do you have her ID?
You're more than welcome.
Do you have her ID? Then you have it.
Phone number.
You don't need it.
Okay. You want to record?
You don't need it. They have it. They have it. The DMV has it. You don't need it. They have it. You don't need it.
You're not going to stand here and interfere with my stop.
They have it. You don't need it. Are you a supervisor, sir? Are you a supervisor? Are you a supervisor? I'd like to get a supervisor out here, please. I don't appreciate the way he's acting. He has no right to tell me anything. I can walk up and down the street. He has no right to tell me I can't. Well, I'm mad at him. This gentleman here thinks that he can stop me from walking down the street, recording him. I'm sorry, you're right. Let's talk about this.
What's your first name?
I don't talk to cops.
Okay. All right.
I don't give you personal information. This man decided that he was going to ask the woman in the car for her phone number and email address and mailing address. She doesn't have to give him any of that. He tried to persist. She told him no. He is still persisting.
I'm sure the driver appreciates you testifying against her right here, telling him that she refused to give him any information. I'm sure she's really appreciative of that, sir.
So I pulled up and I started recording. So then now he decided that he's going to start telling me that I can't walk down a city street. He can't stop me from walking down a city street recording him. He tried to tell me it was interfering. Interference is a physical activity. I'm walking down the street. I have every right to walk down the street and record. Every right.
Were you in this vehicle?
Every right. No, I was not in this vehicle.
All right, so we've seen this footage before. This is the unclean hands version of it. But one of the things I didn't really get to comment on or talk about last time when we watched it that I wanted to mention here was this whole idea, like, we've heard so many of these guys say the exact same thing. I was just walking down the street. Standing still, pointing your camera at someone and screaming at them isn't walking. Literally, it's not. Standing still is literally not walking. It's like quite the opposite. I don't understand the way they. I was just walking down the street, and all of a sudden these cops are telling me I'm not allowed to walk down the street. How dare they? That's not what happened at all. You were standing still, screaming and hooping and hollering at somebody that was none of your damn business. That's not walking down the street. Walking down the street is walking down the street. That's what they call it, walking down the street. Standing there filming and acting like an idiot isn't walking down the street. It's standing there filming and acting like an idiot. And their fans eat this crap up. Ah! Sometimes. I've been noticing more and more some of the comment sections in some of these videos are starting to get a little, like, I think even Frauditor Troll pointed it out on a video the other day, like, he's starting to notice more and more the lens lickers are starting to, like, look at these videos and are starting to see through them, like, wait a minute. That's what you just said is kind of BS, man. Like, maybe these other guys are right. Explaining 101, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Walking is a physical activity, that's right. Yeah, you're physically standing there screaming at these people. That's a physical activity. If you weren't engaged in physical activity, you'd be home. Ugh. I was thinking, this is off the subject, but it's something I was thinking about yesterday. And it just popped into my head, while we're talking about these frauditors in general and frauditing in general. So I was watching this video. I think it was JC News Now. I don't remember who it was. But I was watching this video and there was somebody in there and they were talking about like they were talking to this guy in the post office, the postmaster, and they were talking about like, well, when we see these people and their feelings don't trump our rights, kind of a thing, and if they don't want to be out in public, they should stay home. And I was thinking about like seriously, like on a human level, if you could sit down and actually have a conversation with this person where you're talking to them, it's not just them spouting their rhetoric as every answer to every question, right? And playing circular con man and fast talking circular logic games and answering questions with questions. Like actually have a conversation like you were talking to a human being. I'm sorry, guys. I just realized what I said. Woo-hoo. If you could actually get into a conversation with one of these people and talk to them like the way you would talk to another human on Earth, I would say, like, okay, especially if I was talking to a woman, especially if I was talking to a female auditor, I would love to sit down with a woman auditor and be like, listen, let's say someone is a victim of an SA and the dude who committed the crime videotaped it. He filmed it on his phone because that's how he gets his rocks, right? And so now that person who was SA abused by this dude who filmed it, because of that, is triggered by cameras. Now that woman sees you filming her at the post office or on the street or wherever, somewhere where they're like a customer, right? In public, and they see you filming. And she starts to freak out because you're filming. Right? So what you're telling me is that she should either just get over it. Too bad, so sad, honey. Or don't go out in public if you don't like filming you. So in your world, victims need to stay home. You're a victim, don't leave your house. You don't like being filmed? Too bad. You leave your house, you get filmed. Screw you. I mean, seriously, like, I would love to get an answer to that question. Well, then they shouldn't leave their house if an animal. So you're saying that victims need to lock themselves in their house because they were victimized. They need to be punished by not being allowed to leave their homes because you're out there you're trying to make money on YouTube. Hey, Uncle Artie's here talking about the skulls that went out as prizes from the last giveaway we did. Tiny got some, Highway Star got some. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Let's see. Oh, is Parson complaining again? Oh, wait a minute. Voodoo wanted. You didn't see his costume earlier. He tried to tell Baby Voodoo to put a plastic bag over his head. He thought that would be a good costume for him, and I talked him out of it. And I let him know that his daddy was playing a trick on him. He thinks that was funny. I can't wait till this election's over because every day my mailbox is filled with like 500 different voted things. And I just thought of that because I turned around and I saw this huge pile of all of this. Did I just flash that on the screen with my address? Docs or something? I hope not. They're just a pile of them. They're just everywhere. I'm sick of all this crap. Nonsense. Every day I get my mail, I put it here, and then I dig through it later, and it's just all like the last 3 days. All of my mail has just been like, vote for me, no vote for me, no vote for me, no. And when I got home from work yesterday, the front door of my apartment building had a Kamala Harris thing hanging on the door handle. Vote for me. This is the most insane, ridiculous. Society Red, what's up? I need a better car horn. It goes, ee. Oh. I only saw Hezokuai Jenkins on it. All right. I want a car horn that... actually, I heard this at my job a couple of weeks ago. Somebody's car horn was the Godzilla roar. I don't have my phone, Uncle Artie. I'll go get it while I'm playing the next bit. I wanted to play this. I don't know, man. I usually play this every Halloween, so I'm gonna keep up the tradition. Hopefully, you guys won't all just like, whatever. Are you saying your security didn't work? No. It was the front door of the building. Unless you're not talking to me about the thing. Be thankful, Frauditor follies. Fire starting paper is hard to come by these days. Yes. That's it. It's all kindling. All this political stuff. All of it. At this point, it isn't even about Kamala or Trump. Or Joe Biden. It's about, I'm done with it. When my little guy started asking me questions about really hardcore adult stuff that he doesn't even need to know about, and I tried to find out where he heard these words and stuff, and he said it was from all these political ads he's been seeing playing during kids' shows, and then all the mail and all this nonsense. Forget it. I just want it to be over. All right. Anyway, it's Halloween, so I'm going to do this thing. For those of you who don't know, I play this every year on Halloween. What happened was I wrote a short story years and years and years ago. That was kind of like a scary story. And then I made a video of like images to go with me reading that story out loud. And I play it every Halloween, so it's time to get into that. Let's go. Don't you know? It's called The Ghoul of the Grove. All right. Hope you enjoy.
Jimmy was lost in the woods. Fearful for his safety, he trudged through the mud as best as he could while trying to conserve energy just in case. This would have been the ideal time to have at the very least some sort of a pocket knife, what he wouldn't give for a small nail clipper. So many things he's had in his pocket at one time or another. Now, when he needs them the most, he has none. He put his hand in his pocket, digging deep to find anything that may be of any use to him at all. Money? He found a nice, crisp $50 bill folded up at the bottom. Useless! All his money in the world couldn't help him now. It'll be dark soon. He needs to find a clear spot to put together some kind of makeshift campground, and by the grace of God, somehow managed to build a fire. By 9:30, he had settled himself in pretty well, fashioning a tiny shelter out of sticks, leaves, and was currently rubbing sticks together trying to make a fire in his crude fire pit. He was convinced it was 2 or 3 a.m. and that he'd been at this for far too many hours, so decided to call it a night and just sleep. Spiders are absolutely everywhere. You don't always see them, but they're always there. Well, Jimmy didn't know this, but he found out soon enough. When he awoke, it was still dark. The moon illuminated the area quite nicely, actually, and Jimmy, feeling fully refreshed, decided to get an early start. He immediately began walking again, A relatively intelligent young man, he was, however, raised well within the confines of the big city, and though clever, really had no experience in wilderness survival at all. By noon, he was sunburned, dehydrated, confused, and feeling rather ill. The entire left side of his face was numb, and his only thought now was finding water. He began to panic and spent the next 20 minutes or so running aimlessly, crying, cursing fate, and seriously considering drinking his own urine. Suddenly, the numbness in his face was replaced by an intense burst of pain. Immediately, he grabbed his cheek as he screamed in agony. After a moment, he removed his hand from his face to find it covered in a disgusting combination of blood, pus. He realized now that the left side of his face had become completely paralyzed as he laughed hysterically for a good 5 minutes before passing out, exhausted in the thicket. There are two completely different accounts of what happened to him that evening, depending on who tells it. Only Jimmy knows for sure, and he hasn't muttered more than a single nonsensical statement since before being committed. The official version from the Illinois Department of Parks and Recreation is that he simply slept through the night and his body fought off the infection from this spider bite. The secondary version, which is these days told mostly as folklore around the local residents' fireplaces at night, or among teenagers trying to scare each other, to me, actually represents a much more accurate account of Jimmy's experience. Whether completely precise in every specific detail or not, it opens a window into his mindset at the time and makes his later actions much more understandable. Besides, the official version is just plain boring. Before I get into all that, let's establish some events that are absolutely recognized fact. Some of you may have read in the newspaper at the time. It started as a hazing, his new teammates getting him blind drunk and then dumping him in the center of the woods where he had never been before. Terrible idea. Jimmy was at all times no more than a few miles away from civilization, but with no frame of reference, he was hopelessly lost. He suffered from a ghastly spider bite that, having been untreated, contributed greatly to his delusions. Being an athlete, his physical fitness was a great asset. The Ghoul of the Grove was the title of the first published report of his activities from the local newspaper, the Southtown Star. Before Jimmy was found, many people had already assumed the Ghoul of the Grove was just a local legend and mostly ignored such reports as superstition. Over the course of his 2 years haunting the woods, Jimmy injured 5 people, hospitalized 3, and murdered 2. These are undisputed facts. Now, in some circles, his victim count, however, is hotly debated. Some, who see him as a sort of anti-hero, having dubbed him the Defender of the Dead, try to deny that he ever murdered anyone, arguing manslaughter as opposed to homicide. While others point to a number of unsolved homicides in the area, as well as various local missing person reports, bringing the body count closer to 15 or 20. These are, all of them, conjectures. Whether a result of the spider venom-induced fever frying his brain while he slept, or the effect of the same as he stumbled unwittingly upon a satanic ceremony at the cemetery, there is little doubt that it was the events of that first evening that transformed him into the ghoul or the defender, depending on your point of view. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is considered by many one of the most haunted spots in the United States. Leagues of amateur as well as professional ghost hunters have studied it extensively, as well as being visited regularly by generations of young people looking for a good scare. It's also a mecca for vandals and a variety of presumably satanic cults. Growing up on the southwest side of Chicago, I'd always heard stories about it and had several friends who requested anonymity in this article, so I'll refer to them as Jack and Danny, that visited there often at night, taking pictures in hopes of finding some proof of the existence of the supernatural. I tagged along several times, as visiting Bachelor's Grove was almost a rite of passage for kids in the area, but ultimately found the entire enterprise only depressing. Witnessing the graffiti on the tombstones and half-dug-up graves served only to sour my stomach. It was during one such visit that I observed several disturbing things. There were the remnants of a large fire in the center of the cemetery, charred wood and ash, placed very deliberately in the shape of a pentagram, shattered beer bottles scattered around in a manner that could only have been caused by someone throwing them at the tombstones. And most disturbing of all, a large tree limb on the ground from what was until then known as the hanging tree. The rumor being that in the 60s, the local fad was for depressed hippie teenagers to take LSD and hang themselves from the branch that hung over the cemetery gate, effectively dying already in a cemetery. That very branch was the one that lay on the ground now, obviously not sawed off, but cracked, as though, we assumed, someone had recently tried actually hanging themselves from it and it broke. This experience stuck with me. And when I first heard the story, the unofficial version, that is, of what happened to Jimmy that first night, everything I saw when I was there was mentioned, as though we had arrived a day or two after that first night. So, about 18 months later, I was sitting in my basement watching TV when I suddenly was startled by a frantic knock on my door. I opened it to find the same two friends I had visited the cemetery with in a very agitated state. "Dude, I need a beer, man. Like now," said Jack. And Danny nodded at me with an uncharacteristically serious look in his eye. Not even a hello, as they pushed their way past me directly to my refrigerator and helped themselves to a cold one. They sucked down their drinks in record time, grabbing another one each, and were chain-smoking Marlboros like they wanted cancer now. So agitated was their demeanor that for a moment my heart began to break as I assumed they had come to announce they had finally made the mythically inevitable move from marijuana to cocaine, as I had long feared due to their excessively addictive personalities. However, as it turns out, their tale was far less worrisome, yet no less startling. It seems that evening they decided to once again go ghost hunting at the cemetery. Being frowned upon by local law enforcement, entering at night is a tricky business, and one's best bet is to park quite a distance away and sneak in through the woods. As they made their way deeper into the wood, they began to notice a pungent stench, which seemed to follow them as they walked. At first they thought perhaps it was the scent of a dead animal, but as they continued, they could hear the rustling of leaves, and it became clear they were indeed being followed. Stalked by a hungry animal, perhaps? Their fear began to grow. The closer they got to the cemetery, the stronger the stench. As soon as the tombstones became visible in the distance, they were immediately confronted by the source of the horrible stench, a naked man. They said he was absolutely filthy, thin as a rail, with rotten teeth, long matted hair, and a long, scraggly beard. Half of his face was hideously deformed, and he carried a walking stick that gave the impression that this was more than just your run-of-the-mill homeless person, but an honest-to-God, full-time resident of the woods. They kept talking about his walking stick as the most striking piece of evidence that he lived in the woods full-time and had been there for quite a while. The way they described it, it was covered from tip to toe in intricate, highly detailed carvings. Not nice, smooth, professional-style carvings, but they were crude and chaotic. It was obvious that the man had spent an insane amount of hours working the wood with some kind of blunt tool, perhaps a pointy bit of stone. The actual tip was a very dangerous-looking, jagged mess of pointy bits of wood, like a fishing spear. Their color a deep shade of brown that seemed to be created by dried blood. "What did he say?" I asked. "He didn't say shit. He just looked at us with this look, man. I don't know," said Jack. "Like Charles Manson," said Danny. "So what happened?" I asked. "We got the fuck out of there," Jack replied. "Hell yeah," Danny added. When I first read the article about the Ghoul of the Grove, I knew it must have been the same man. That was how my obsession with this story started. The combination of having witnessed with my own eyes the aftermath of that first night within a day or two of it, and my friends having come across him directly, sparked my curiosity to a degree I could not have imagined before. I spent countless hours reading every bit of information I could find about Jimmy. After the initial story broke, the kids who dumped him in the woods came forward. There was a great deal of press coverage for a short time, even going national for a while, but quickly it became an anti-hazing story more than anything else. Nevertheless, I was able to temporarily satisfy my appetite for info on the goo. Soon, I was searching the internet for any info on anyone who claimed to have met him. Eventually, I found myself roaming the nearby neighborhood seeking any info at all. The number of local stories was actually staggering. It seemed everyone in the area had their own folk tales and ghost stories. Some of them originating long before Jimmy was even born, but were now being attributed to him. Now, look, I don't believe in ghosts, but most of the locals give the impression they do, and Jimmy certainly does. Jimmy did offer his own version of the entire ordeal to the police when he was first found. However, it was mostly an incoherent mess of randomly strung together words, descriptions of conversations with supposed ghosts, paranoid delusions, and hollow threats. So, through the labyrinth of newspaper stories, police reports, local fairy tales, dead ends, and my own experience, I finally pieced together what I believe to be the most accurate account possible of what actually happened that night. It was a full moon that night, and Jimmy awoke at its apex. He was cold, hungry, enormously thirsty, and viciously ill. He immediately felt as though someone was standing behind him. But as he turned to look, no one was there. He thought he was being paranoid and decided to try and think of this as he would a football game. Fight through the pain, set small goals, achieve your goals, and win. But he needed a goal, and his nagging thirst made resuming his search for water seem appropriate enough. There's that presence again. He snapped his head around. No one there. This time he decided he would try to be logical. If there were water to be found that was okay to drink, he surmised, it would be running water. He should listen for the sound of running water and follow the sound. This actually worked. He closed his eyes, listened intently, and in just a few moments he could hear water flowing. He was ecstatic. His excitement at his discovery combined with his pride in being so clever as to figure this out, simple as it was, rejuvenated him enough to give him the strength he needed to race towards the source of the beautiful sound of running water.
Hey, wait a minute. I finally got this picture Uncle Artie sent me. I don't know if you can see it. He's in front of the Area 51 Alien Center. And the caption says, "My butt hurts." I kind of like those costumes where it looks like somebody's carrying you, but it's your legs are the legs. That's good. Uncle Artie, he wanted. What's up, Leland? I see you there. Uncle Artie wanted me to play the Funny Farm, where life is beautiful all the time, and I can't wait for those. But I don't know if I'll get a copyright strike if I play that. I don't know. Oh wait, you're looking the wrong way. There you go. All right. Dead on camera. Hey, what's up? He said, he likes that. All right. Anyway, with trees and birds and basket weavers that sit and twiddle their toes all day. They're coming to take me away. All right, let's take a quick break from the story and check that out and see if they're right. Okay. Let's see if this is public domainish.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats
and they're coming to take me away.
You thought it was a joke, and so you laughed. You laughed when I had said that losing you would make me flip my lid. Right? You know you laughed. I heard you laugh. You laughed, and laughed, and then you left. But now you know I'm utterly mad. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. I cooked your food, I cleaned your house, and this is how you pay me back for all my kind, unselfish, loving deeds. Ha? Well, you just wait. They'll find you yet, and when they do, they'll put you in the ASPCA, you mangy mutt. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful.
All right. Anyway, let's get back to the video, guys. I just wanted to take a break for a minute because everyone was saying, hey, play it. So I played it. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the story. Let's get it done. It's Halloween. Come on, I play this every Halloween. Let's go.
After traversing only a short distance, he felt as though he had run a marathon. He noticed a light off in the distance and decided to push on no matter what, digging deep into the well of his soul, pushed his body beyond what he probably should have. He continued on, only at a much slower pace. He felt the presence again, and it seemed to whisper to him now, encouraging him to go on. He shook it off, and as he drew closer to the light, he noticed it was not electric light, but the red glow characteristic of flame. He also began to notice voices, not like the ones in his head, but actual external ones. Renewed by the realization that there were people nearby, he doubled his effort and arrived at his destination quickly. What he found there, however, was far from what he could have ever expected. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery has been abandoned since the mid-20th century. Over time, the surrounding forest preserve had taken on an air of mystery as it seems to grow around it, not engulfing it as one might imagine it would, but somehow embracing it. Adjacent trees seem to grow in a bent manner as opposed to straight and vertical, most likely due to the fact that the area had been cleared when it was active, and the open area isn't shaded during the day, so the trees, of course, are bending towards the sunlight. But it gives the appearance of the forest being like a hand with the cemetery in its palm and the trees acting as its fingers, cradling it gently. It was at the base of one such tree, just outside the perimeter of the cemetery gates, insomuch as they could be considered gates through the corrosion of the metal, Jimmy crouched down, a silent sentinel, observing in horror the events occurring within. At the center of the cemetery was the source of the light, a huge fire in the shape of a pentagram. Several people were present. Two were a couple having sex inside a partially dug-up grave. Another was an obviously drunk teenager currently urinating on a tombstone. There was also a teenage girl, a half pint of Jack Daniels in her hand, straddling the infamous branch of the hanging tree as though she was riding a horse. She even said, "Yee-haw!" with a laugh. The rest were more difficult to surmise as they were further off in the distance and spread out a bit near the front of the entrance, seemingly keeping watch, ready to warn others of oncoming intruders. Having experienced what Jimmy had over the course of the past 2 evenings, and then stumbling unknowingly onto a cemetery in the middle of the night itself would have been enough to push him over the edge. But seeing this callous disrespect to the place by these uncivilized trespassers broke his heart, and it made him furious. The mysterious voice whispered to him again, clearer now. It no longer seemed to be the voice of an individual, but a multitude of voices speaking in unison. Destructors, devils in shadows, invaders, help us. This is our home. This is our home. Help us. This is our home. Jimmy closed his eyes and grabbed his head in an attempt to quiet the voices. They were silenced. He mumbled to himself, "It isn't real. It isn't. It can't be." He slowly opened his eyes, yet the horrific ritual within the cemetery continued. His thirst began to fade, replaced by hate. Every second he saw those people in that cemetery doing what they were doing, fed his hatred. He had no idea who these people were or why they were there. He had no idea who the people buried there were either. But he did know, if for no other reason than common decency, this was going to end. He would end it. "Yes," whispered the wind. "And there." Now, crouched down in a nearby shrubbery, Jimmy stealthily made his way closer, taking in the scene and forming a plan of action. He meticulously made mental notes of every possible entrance and exit, every hole in the fences, the location of every tombstone, and every branch on the ground. He imagined the layout of the cemetery as though it were a football field, and the people inside as the other team. He gathered up a few handfuls of small stones and filled his pockets with them. He took out that $50 bill and began to implement his plan. He had noticed it was a particularly windy night. He was going to use that to his advantage. The couple having sex were the easiest. They were already distracted enough. The girl in the tree would, at best, be able to toss the whiskey bottle at him, as getting down from the branch would take some time. The drunk guy would also be easy. He was skinny, and Jimmy had been in fistfights with drunken linemen. No, the challenge was the unknown, the mysterious figures wandering at the outskirts. His plan was to position himself well within range of getting off a couple of good headshots with his stones to the mystery men, waiting for a good breeze that would pull the $50 bill into the eyesight of the drunk guy. He would let go of the bill, sending it into the cemetery. The dude would see it and chase after it. While he was busy with that, Jimmy would throw the stones at the mystery men, taking them out quickly, then would run into the cemetery, tackle the drunk, pound his face for a few seconds, and then immediately make his way back to the guy having sex, who would surely be distracted by trying to put his pants on, and tackle him down as well. The women would be an afterthought. He would then admonish them for their actions and banish them from the cemetery. Well, that was his plan anyway. The reality of it was far less fortuitous for him. When he let go of the money, it simply blew away, completely unnoticed. The stone he threw at the nearest mystery man merely grazed the side of his face, causing him to immediately summon his fellows, gathering quickly into a search party. There were 3. And as they also gathered up the 4 from inside the cemetery, there was now a party of 7 hunting for the stone thrower. Jimmy's heart began to race. Adrenaline filled his veins. For the briefest moment, he considered fleeing, but the voices came back. "We are here. Do not fear. Do not fear. Fear us. You're the dead. You're yours. We are you. You are Jane. We are you. We are Jane." At this, Jimmy snapped. Pure, vicious, visceral instinct drove him into a frenzy as he lunged out onto the closest person he could find. It was the drunk that urinated on the tombstone and broke the bottles. Having him on the ground, Jimmy beat him with a brutal ferocity, breaking his nose and knocking out several of his teeth in a matter of moments. He also broke his own hands just as quickly. The others jumped in, knocking Jimmy off of their friend. The guy who was previously having sex in the grave was sitting on Jimmy's chest, while the others cheered him on. However, upon getting his first good look at Jimmy's now severely grotesque facial wound, as well as catching a glance of the madness in his eyes, he hesitated, and Jimmy took full advantage of this moment of hesitation. With his good hand, he gathered up some dirt and used pure power to flip over, smashing his attacker in the side of the head with his elbow, all in one motion. He then tossed the dirt into the eye of the next closest person as he popped up onto his feet and immediately ran into the cemetery. Jimmy's head was full now of hallucinations. Besides believing he could hear the ghosts of the cemetery residents, the group that was chasing him now appeared to him as macabre demons, inhuman creatures that needed to be stopped at all costs. His own pain had become a non-issue, as the combination of spider venom and adrenaline in his veins made him quite numb. He was well aware of this as well, and used it to his advantage, making his way to the center of the flaming pentagram, challenging his pursuers to enter after him. And although he did suffer some minor burns on his way in, the center of the pentagram itself was clear of any flame, but the surrounding burning logs were creating an intolerable amount of smoke. Coughing aggressively, he ducked down low to the ground and readied himself for the forthcoming attacks. Maintaining a heightened awareness, peering through the smoke in every direction, he bounced slightly in anticipation. No one came. Jimmy's eyes watered with intense irritation as his coughing increased. As the smoke continued to sink into his location with greater frequency, he realized why his foes were not attacking. They were tossing more wood onto the fire. They were going to burn him to death or smoke him out. Whichever their plan, he knew now he could wait no longer and had to act. Thinking quickly, he removed his shirt, tore it into two pieces. One he wrapped around his face as a makeshift smoke filter mask. The other he wrapped around his good hand and then grabbed one of the burning logs. With eyes closed, he ran forward, brandishing his fiery weapon, and tripped over a flaming log, which actually helped, putting him once again beneath the smoke, and now being a good distance forward, he could see much more clearly where his enemies stood. Spotting the closest one, a girl this time, the one from the hanging tree, he lunged headlong into her waistline, taking her down like a linebacker, and then proceeded to bludgeon her mercilessly with his burning cudgel. At this point, the story gets even more vague. Jimmy's own version describes just hallucinations of himself being an archangel, not fighting with a stick that was on fire, but wielding the flaming sword of the Lord as he vanquished his demonic enemies. The cult members that were having their ceremony are just as unreliable a source, because they try to maintain a great deal of secrecy, as well as their testimony being filtered through the veil of inebriation. What I believe is a patchwork of what few points each different version of the story agrees on. It didn't take long for the group to subdue Jimmy, but they could not hold him still for more than a few moments. His madness and his physical conditioning combined to make him a truly dangerous foe, and it became clear the only way to deal with the situation was to either flee or kill him. They were not about to flee. The soberest members of the group quickly convinced the women to leave, having one escort the other to the hospital for immediate medical attention, the battered drunkard tagging along. Now a 4-on-1 affair, Jimmy kept attacking. Every moment was a non-stop barrage, kicking, biting, knees, elbows, anything and everything he could possibly do to hurt the others. Like a wild, wounded beast, his stamina seemed limitless, and his attack never slowed. Someone lost an eye, another suffered a skull fracture. The rest of the melee lasted only a few minutes. But that was all that was needed for his two remaining foes to decide they would be better off seeking medical attention for their fellows than to continue the battle. "We're going to find you, kid. You're dead," one yelled desperately as they fled the scene. The moment they left the cemetery proper, Jimmy dropped to his knees and looked to the sky. What he saw was awe-inspiring. The full moon, directly above his head, was surrounded by a perfect celestial circle. He had never seen anything more beautiful. And then, once again, he passed out. There's a small bog adjacent to the cemetery. Legend has it the Chicago Mafia used it as a dumping ground for its victims' bodies back in the 1930s. I don't imagine that most people would drink from it, but Jimmy did. He drank his fill, in fact. It was a brisk, bright fall morning with a slight but persistent breeze caressing his skin. His shirt having been destroyed the night before, his torso was bare. He looked around, taking in his surroundings for the first time in daylight. Overall, the cemetery was actually quite beautiful during the day, which made the vandalism appear that much uglier. The charred remnants of the pentagram, the broken bottles, the graffiti, all hitting Jimmy like a jackhammer, destroying his soul, causing him to weep profusely. His proper mind was gone now. The damage from the venom, combined with a number of blows he took to the head, assured he would never be the same. There's no way he could have known about the stories of the hanging tree. There was just something about the way the tree stood just above the cemetery at just the perfect height, I guess. He decided to remove his belt and use it to hang himself. Having one broken hand made this task far more difficult than he had originally imagined. The ghosts of the cemetery were begging him not to do it, claiming the difficulty he was having was their doing. They wanted him to live, to stay with them, to keep chasing away the people who defile and desecrate their home. Having still some semblance of his logical mind intact, he knew these were hallucinations. He knew he had lost his mind and felt his death would be the only way to quiet the voices. So he continued on, and in time had attached himself securely to his makeshift noose. Standing at the very tip of his toes, he was already choking a bit. All he had to do was relax his feet, and so he did. Instinct immediately kicked in, and he began flailing around frantically. His weight, his motion, and the old age of the tree combined to crack the limb of the tree, dropping him to the ground before he could die. As he coughed and wrenched his body, desperately trying to get more oxygen, the ghostly voices came back to him. They told him they broke the limb for him. They saved him so he could save them. And finally, they could rest in peace. This time, he believed them. And what was left of his mind thought there was no reason for the tree limb to break without outside interference. He decided he was not crazy after all, but that all of this was indeed real. It was at that moment he became the guardian of the grove. The rest of the story, most of you probably already know. He survived, living like an animal in the woods, getting to know each tree, each rock, every inch of the woods like the back of his hand, gave him a great advantage against all intruders.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the cupcake happy dance. Let's go! All right. Okay. Ole, all right. Oh my goodness. Hello. By the way, anyone I didn't say hello to, Sorcerer Red Hair, what's up? Great to see you. Awesome to have you here. Methodist Dave's in the house. And there she is. Yes. Frauditors News Network is here. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you, Maggie. Oh, God bless. Hope you're doing well. Everybody loves you. This is great stuff. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness gracious me, it's Halloween morning. Oh, wowzers. I think I can't help but think back sometimes because let me look at when exactly was because I know this year I know I'm not going to be able to do it. Yeah, it was October 28th of last year. So last year I did the 6-hour rock and roll Halloween heavy metal stream with Doc Danger. That was, oh man, R.I.P. Doc Danger. That was awesome. Yeah, I did like 2 shows that day. I did the morning show and then, on Halloween I did 2 shows, but that was a couple days because it was always on Saturday that we did that. So that was the Saturday before Halloween. Oh yeah, that was the 28th. So man, Anyway, holy crap, hammer sandwich sauce. Again, that's the only thing with my job. It's nothing. It's Thursday. So I just got to go, do work. Oh, she says, I love you all too. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. So anyway, 40 Below's here. What's up? Is Minnie has there this morning? No, he's not. But the plan, from what I understand, is that when I get off of work, the kids are going to be here waiting for me, and then I'm going to take them trick-or-treat. So we should all come together at the same time. So he's with his mom right now. Well, actually, right now, he's literally on his way to school. But yeah, he's with his mom right now. And then I don't know if she's going to have him come here after school, and then they're going to wait for me, or if she's going to pick him up and then drop all the kids off at when I get off of work. 9 to 5. Well, 8 to 5, technically, because an hour at lunch. Anyway, there's that. And so, and as always, happy Halloween, guys. Thank you for joining me. I love you guys. You're the best fans in the world. Peace at home. Oh, yay. I'm out. See you tomorrow, guys. Oh, wait, Icus just got here. I didn't get to say hello to Icus. Icus has been one of my most loyal fans from day one. What's up, Icus? Good to see you. I'm just signing out, though. Oh, no. Thank you. Have fun trick-or-treating. Yes, thank you. All right. And Leland, by the way, I watched your poem yesterday. That was great because it was a poem written for creators, so I knew what she was saying. Like, yeah, that was good stuff. All right. Back to the outro. Sorry, guys. Happy Halloween. Bye. Where's my music? There it is.